Hi, I'm Ashley Appap.
And I'm Hayley Tanto.
Welcome to Call an Adult, a Pretty Little Liars recap podcast.
Each week we'll dive headfirst into the absolutely bonkers world of PLL as we recap the iconic series.
Where everyone is hot.
And no one calls an adult.
Let's go, bitches!
Ay.
Well.
Hello, hello.
If we aren't back for Season 5! What the fuck?
It's Skype from New York.
It's Skype.
It's Skype from New York.
New York.
It's nice to be in New York right now where we're recording from.
Of course, that's why we have our leather jackets on, as do the girls in this entire episode.
Because they have them on for... Is it 48 hours? How long is this time frame between? Because Spencer says something at some point where she's like, I haven't eaten since the bridal fashion show.
Yes.
And I was like, what?
When? Right?
And they're all wearing leather jackets and boots. I would have blisters, hot spots, and I would be sweating through that leather jacket.
Like we will be, surely within minutes we will be taking these off.
Ash was like, we got to wear leather jackets. And I was like, that's genius.
And look, if you saw
and I was
the
like,
last...
I will take them off within the first 5 minutes.
Yes. And if you saw season 4, episode 24, we probably did the same thing. Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Maybe you, if you watched.
It's all about that continuity.
Continuity,
because that's what these episodes are all about. Because Pretty Little Liars, the whole series takes place within a day.
Of course, simply. That's the only logic I can understand. We're gonna get straight into it. We've got so much to get through. We are thrilled to be covering season 5 of this fucking crazy show. Episode 1, Escape from New York.
I just joined you for the eye.
Hello. It was directed by Norman Buckley, go off King, and written by, of course, I'm Arlene King. Miss Kinga. This episode came out on June 10th, 2014. So, of course, if that is your birthday, happy birthday to you, including these superstars. Happy birthday, Prince Philip.
Oh, and rest in peace?
And rest in peace, King.
Rip.
Judy Garland.
Oh.
I hope she's somewhere over the rainbow of peace from all the drugs and other things that were inflicted upon her.
We do.
Happy birthday, Kate Upton.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to those titties. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say to the booby queen.
Sorry.
I feel like Sydney Sweeney is like the Gen Z Kate Upton. Even though Kate Upton was just straight up a model that did some acting, and Sydney Sweeney is like an actor.
Yes.
But it feels like very genetically blessed blonde women.
Titty cousins.
Titty cuzzies.
Titty cuzzos. Happy birthday, Bill Burr.
Oh, happy birth.
Happy birth, Jonathan Bennett, of course.
Oh.
Mr. Aaron Samuels himself.
Mr. Mean Girls Day himself.
Mr. October 3rd, which of course...
Get him to officiate my wedding.
I was going to say the day Hayley's getting married. Happy birthday to... That's the only names that I recognise. Yes, happy birthday to them.
That's a pretty good list.
Thank you. I didn't make it, but thanks.
Ash, that was a really good list.
Thank you. Now here's another list. Hayley, it's time for you to guess what was the number 1 song on June 10th, 2014. I'm going to give you a few numbers. Now, because of course this is a new season, we've skipped months since the last release date.
Oh, okay, yeah, true.
So we've got a whole new swath of songs.
Yes. Right. Okay.
Here is what you have to choose between. Was the number 1 song?
So it's June 10.
June 10.
2014.
Yeah. Was it Sing by Ed Sheeran?
Oh, yeah. I think I was in Chicago at this time, or I was headed off to the States.
2010.
2014, is it?
14.
2010, I was in my final year of high school.
2014, I was doing a production of Hairspray where I was playing the physically whitest character, and I was the physically darkest, most tanned person.
And that...
in the country.
That's 2014.
And that's 2014 for you. Was it Played Again by Luke Bryan? I think it's a country song.
Okay.
Or was it Fancy by Iggy Azalea featuring Charlie XCX?
Is the Ed Sheeran one that's like, whoa, whoa,
yes. That's I was very badly doing that.
Sing.
Swing.
Swing. Okay. I am...
Song about maintaining mobility after hip surgery.
Oh, and you've got to keep your hip flexors
loose.
You do. I'm all about the hip flexors at the moment. Okay, so I think I'm going to go, it could very much be King of Pop Ed Sheeran.
Michael Jackson walked so he could run. Michael Jackson moonwalked so he could moon
Ed
run.
Sheeran could sway. I'm going to give it to Iggy Azalea and Charlie XX Fancy because I remember before I went to Chicago and I was working in 3 different cafes.
1 cup.
In the lead up, 1 cup. And I just remember like a lot of Iggy Azalea playing at the time in Australia. So let's go with Fancy.
Iggy Australia.
Iggy Australia.
If you're hearing a creak, it's because there's a mouse in the house.
There's a little mouse.
Who's loose.
Leaving.
Oh, the
Ciao.
mouse has a laugh. Goodbye, mouse. Squeak, squeak.
For context, we had a studio friend in here waiting for his podcast episode.
Shout out to Ben
download.
Searle. The correct answer, Hayley,
Whoa,
is
whoa.
Fancy.
You're correct! I'm so fancy. In the
You know what I'm feeling fancy about?
Tokyo.
Time to take the jackets off.
I was trying to keep it on.
Oh no.
I was trying to keep it on for till the episode started so we could be in New York. But I was like sweating because we're having a coffee at the same time. So
there's too much warmth going on. The warmth of our friendship, the warmth of the jackets, the warmth of the coffee. You understand? Okay.
So much.
Hayley, it's time to get into the episode. But before we hear from the 12-year-olds, who are of course the children who write the Wikipedia episode descriptions,
Our children.
our babies. And you have to be critical of your baby sometimes because they make mistakes, especially sentence structure based.
And we're
mistakes.
borderline abusive.
Borderline abusive, mother. Before we hear from them, can we please hear from Australian streaming service Stan?
Australian streaming service Stan says, in the season premiere, Ezra's life hangs in the balance.
And if only it hung all the way till it ended, you know?
Truly. And good job to Stan, that's true. His life does hang in the balance. And I don't really care.
I couldn't care less.
And I couldn't give a shit.
That hang in there cat, I say, let go. Let go, Ezra. Ooh.
Sorry, for the anyone on audio listening via audio, what did I do? I pretended to be the cat, but then
the titular cat.
It really was nothing, but then I just let my hands go and kind of
was
cascaded them down. That didn't describe it either. Anyway.
It was like a soft, slow jazz hand, more of a waterfall.
Don't
go chasing. And also, that's a reminder that you can watch these episodes if you're only listening. Okay. Now, it's time to hear from the 12-year-olds. Here we go. In New York City, while Ezra's life is in jeopardy after being shot by A, Allison, Hannah, Emily, and Spencer separate from Aria in order to trick A and hold him away from Ezra in the hospital. However, their plan backfires.
Plan.
In the Hastings residence, Melissa has a difficult... No. Okay, I'm keeping this in because this is sentence structure based. In the Hastings residence, Melissa has difficult time. As a secret from the past...
Girl, we're all having difficult time.
Oh, it's difficult time every time of the difficult day. Ali shows the others an empty theatre owned by Ezra's family. Shauna has a vendetta of her own as she pays a visit to Ezra in the hospital. After Cece left Rosewood, she goes to New York where Ali helps her leave for France. Firenze. No, that's Florence.
Firenze. Paris. Firenze.
In Rosewood...
Similar to the Italians.
Similar to the Italians. Be Italian. In Rosewood, Mona, after learning that Allison is back, gathers a group of people tormented by her, including her, Lucas, Melissa, and Paige.
That was so iconic.
It was gagoo. Allison reveals to Emily that Cece was never Red Coat. Allison told Cece to dress up as a red coat to distract A from sawing Emily. Lol.
This is crazy. I am going to clean my glasses on pod while you do this.
This is
just
exclusive.
Know that I am being filmed because sometimes Dale will put on the YouTube thing and I kind of forget that we're being filmed a lot of the time. Anyway, keep going.
Go on and clean.
Just know that I'm doing that.
Go, girl. As Ezra wakes up, he whispers the shooter's identity to Aria, and she immediately leaves the hospital to go to the theatre where she sees Shauna dressed as A with a gun.
Boo to main characters whispering shit to each other.
I know. Say it out loud. Be proud and loud. Ugh. She immediately leaves the hospital to go to the theatre where she sees Shauna. dressed as A with a gun, threatening to kill Allie. And I say, good. Shauna reveals that she wanted to kill her as revenge for blinding Jenna, whom she loves. We've got a whom in there. Arya sneaks in time. Arya sneaks in time. Okay, that is correct sentence structure.
Yeah, and the whom is wrong.
We all know it's whomst.
It's whomst. Beldong.
Beldong. Justin Beldong. Will that still be relevant when this comes out?
Oh, that's evergreen.
That is evergreen.
I feel like all that, yep.
Any dong pun is evergreen. This is the longest we've ever gone reading a 12-year-old's.
I know.
And that's our prog. Shauna reveals that she wanted to kill her as revenge for blinding Jenna, whom she loves. Arya sneaks in time to save the girls and knocks Shauna off the stage, where she is killed instantly after hitting her head. This gagu. The liars believe the A game is now finally over. Meanwhile, Cece gets on a plane and leaves for France. For fans. Fittins. Using Alan. Who is Alan? I've been watching too much Traitors.
Oh.
Using Allie's Vivian Darkbloom identity. Woof. That was a word salad for me, I think.
This is long. I guess it is a season. In their defense, that makes sense.
Okay. Let's get straight to it.
Oh, was that the end?
That's the end.
What was the end sentence?
That Cece gets on the plane and leaves for France using Alison's Vivian Darkbloom identity.
Okay, that is the end. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, so let's talk about season 5, episode 1, Escape from New York. And I'm never going to stop bringing up the name so we can say Escape.
We have to. Escape.
Escape. Mona Escape.
Mona Escape.
Mona Escape. Okay, so wait. When do we go to New York? We open in Philly, right? Are we in New York or Philly?
I think we're in New York this whole episode because the Fitzgerald Theatre is in New York.
Yes.
So in the last episode, they go to New York.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I know that there's like the subway at some point, but I was like, did I miss? Okay. So we open in New York.
Yes, because when they go, the location that they get to at the end of the last episode where they see Noel. And he takes their phones.
Oh, is that apartment? Oh, okay.
Yes.
So Ezra's on death's door.
Thank God.
Stay there. And then and then we watch, I think everyone's like in a fire escape or everyone's heightened so they can see like the roof of the ambulance go away. But then A is on there like fucking Spider-Man being like, A on
top of the ambulance.
A is Gagu. And
it is.
Got to shout out to Shauna.
Shout out to Shauna.
And I forget that she is a swimmer. But I didn't know she could do parkour.
She can do it all.
She can literally do parkour.
Also, we have a shot of Noel looking like sympathetic as they're all watching the ambulance take Ezra away. And I'm like, what? I can't remember. Why are you even here? What's going on? And then someone says, he's herniating. I think one of the ambulance people when they're wheeling Ezra away. And I was watching with dear friend of the pod, Ali Sheehan, and she said, good, out loud.
Good. I do
Go
love I love having the subtitles on because you can really see when there's medical speak, you can really see what they're saying. And I can't fact check it, but I do like having the subtitles on to be like, what do they have to write for the medical?
He's herniating.
And herniating. And I missed that. So I guess it's not, and now we're in the hospital, I guess, because I have a note that's just like, A's prowling around the hospital. And my question is, because A sort of has a black mask on, so you can't see them can't see them.
How are they able to breathe?
I don't know. I assume it's like a mesh kind of.
Yeah, what fabric are we talking here?
I think it's like a very breathable mesh, a lycra or something that they can see out of. Like a Spider-Man suit. Not that I've worn one.
Sounds like something Spider-Man would say. Dale Day and Hayley Spider-Man.
Oh, he would be so annoyed if I got to be Spider-Man. He loves Spider-Man.
Well, he loves you, so there you go. It all makes sense.
But it just does A take off their mask when they walk around the hospital? Because if you're in all black and then have a black mask on walking around a hospital,
every time we see them
in there.
Every time we see them in the hospital,
in New York.
We don't in the scope. We never see their face. We just see them from the back. So they've got to we don't know. So they must have had it off.
Because you cannot be walking around the hospital looking like that.
In this town. And then the girls are like, okay, well, we don't think that Mrs. D is A anymore, as they did at the cliffhanger of last season, because they're like, she couldn't have made that jump. And I'm like, fair.
We don't know.
Then Hannah gives Arya the gun, and I went, oop. I was like, you're getting all your fingerprints all over this fucking gun.
Oh, and they love putting their a glove, they've never heard of it.
They don't know what a glove is.
A is like, I bought all the gloves in Rosewood Philadelphia, New York.
New York.
I love that New York doesn't have an A in it, but we're like, New York.
New York.
New York. I've got to know this says Ezra knows who A is, which is why A is after him. Someone says that, I guess.
Yeah. Then Emily, I've written, Emily, stop worrying about Allison. She's ruined your life.
Yes.
Which is what I say. Then we cut back to Rosewood and the Slastings, Sans, Spence are around the fire.
In Diet House Muffin.
Diet House Muffin. And Melissa makes great points about Allie being a ticking time bomb. Time bomb? She's a time bomb. A ticking time bomb.
The New York is really it's in us.
It's in us. I've written Allie being a ticking time bomb and therefore a cunt derogatory.
Yes.
And I agree. Okay.
And she's crying for the family who's missing a daughter who's really dead instead of Allie. Because I think, so she's crying and then one of the parents is like, she's not really, like Allie's not dead, sweetheart.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I know, some woman is. Some
other girl is.
And
then they're like,
misses them.
and it seems like Peter Slasting still thinks that Spencer must have killed that girl.
Yeah, and he's just like nursing a whiskey on the couch. He's feeling he's drinking this whole episode.
Actually, no, in the last episode we see that Melissa whispered something to him, so we don't know what he knows at this point. But
because then Melissa nearly says to Veronica, Victoria Slastings,
of course,
there's something you need to know, but then there's cop lights at the door.
Ding dong! Doorbell ring, cop lights. Sounds like that. Then Mulbrook alert, sexy can I? And the answer is yes, I can. He's at the Slastings house and he's like, hey guys, just letting you know that CC Drake escaped
from New York.
From police custody. And this sentence exactly made me laugh so much. Detective Maple was found unconscious by the side of the road. The only good police officer, except for Mulbrook. But Hannah did kiss him.
I think it really is just Barry Maple.
Barry Maple. Well, he's unconscious on the side of the road. And I say, CC Drake, how dare you do that to this man?
You know what? He might be sleeping because he is carrying that.
You know what?
He's carrying that police force.
He's just overworked and overtired.
I did say to Dale at some point, I was like, I can't remember what Mulbrook's job is. I know he's not chief of police, but I did say to Dale, I was like, imagine if that man was your town's chief of police. This like hot 25-year-old.
I'd be committing crimes all over the place.
Yeah, I'd be like,
I'd be like, ooh, lock me up. We see a breaking news thing that comes up with the picture of Allison that we've seen many times. And then current headshots of all the Gurgles. Like today, like them at this point in the show, the headshots that they would have sent to wardrobe.
They've all put them on Star Now.
They're like,
or what the American equivalent of Star Now is.
They're under huge like fluorescent lights as well. They look, it's like someone clearly made them stand against the same wall and take these pictures in succession. It's crazy. And then we see Black Hood sneaking around the hospital in a lab coat, and then they like go to where it's, I think, surgery, where Ezra is.
Yes.
And they see two police officers standing outside of it, and they are about to walk to try to go in, and then they see them and go, okay, and then they take off their lab coat, put it in a bin and get back in an elevator.
I don't know.
I'm like, keep the lab coat on.
Keep it on. Who cares?
Who knows if you're going to need the what are you doing?
Also in Ezra's surgery, it's going a bit hectic and there's like debris everywhere.
Yeah,
apparently
there's a ton of debris in
system.
here.
And the doctor says, I'm doing my part, Mr. Fitz, you do yours. And I was like, one, that's a crazy thing to say. It is your job to just, he's been shot.
He's
to defend him
unconscious.
for 1 second. he is doing his part by being nearly dead. But two, calling him Mr. Fitz was weird.
Right.
What was that? Like what? Why would a doctor call him Mr. Fitz?
Weird. Also,
she's a fan of the show.
When I wrote down, there's a ton of debris in here. Yeah, because he's garbage. Because he's a bin. Then I've written them trying to redeem the pedo by shooting him is so wild to me. By being like, oh no, he's a victim now.
When that happened, I was like, of course, the redemption. Here we go.
Well, guess what? He'll never be redeemed in my eyes.
No.
Then we hear a PA announcement saying, Alison De Laurentiis, please report to the emergency room.
Yeah.
And it's like, the girls are like, what?
Which is crazy to have her name just out there.
So obviously A has done that.
And then A is watching, Emily, Hannah and Spencer have all just like sat down and they're reading some mags. Mm-hmm. And then A is watching them and then texts someone, it's happening, follow the leader. And you know we're about to get the flash mob of the century.
We see Allison leave the hospital and she sees that a Black Hood is following her.
I love that she's in Ravenswood with some siren sounds.
She's in Ravenswood with some random little like subway pop-ups. Look, it's a Warner Brothers lot. It's all, if they're outside and it's a city.
It's like the nice, it's like the cutest looking New York I've ever seen.
Then
Oh, can I say, when she sees A and she like starts breaking into a jog, she still has her hands in her pockets of her long jacket.
that's what
Cardi.
that's what Ali said when we were watching.
Oh my
this as well. She was like,
God.
"Why is she running with her hands in her pocket?"
She does. She like runs. I think it's because she's trying to look kind of chill, and she does take them out later. But I did write that down.
Take your hands out, girl. Then they face off in the street and she runs to a playground.
I remember. I don't know if I rewatched this. I just remember this episode so vividly.
I was kind of like, you're in New York at nighttime. A playground's probably the least safe place you can go. The pedos are out.
Truly.
But also maybe, you know, she's from Rosewood. She's used to the pedos being everywhere. Maybe they don't scare her
She's
anymore.
like, I'm used to it. So she goes to the playground and then A pops up like behind her and is like, wanna play? It's over.
And then
they pepper spray A.
the girls appear and they're like,
yeah, that's right.
they pepper spray A.
Because they've bought pepper spray at the start of the epi.
Started the epi, of course. Then another A, like when we say A now, we're only referring to black hoods. There's only black hoods.
Yeah, true. Let's say, yeah.
And then another one pops up and he's like, are you sure that's A? Maybe I'm A. Or maybe it's them. And then a bunch more come and they're like, some of them are wearing, like, I think one's wearing
Some
an
are
alley
wearing
mask.
like alley masks. Some are wearing just like this black spandex thing we've been speaking about.
One's wearing like a weird chipmunk-esque kind of, like.
Yeah, they all have different masks on.
Look, Hector's House of Wax obviously ran out of Allison masks. We've seen so many.
He's going to be invoicing for days.
Yeah.
He's going to be in the zero back end, like
And
getting
then
his business.
His business is booming, but also he's not going to ship to New York. If that shipping is expedited by him, the business owner, you know, he's got to think.
He'll
about
put a
costs.
shipping fee on it.
He better.
I hope he is.
I hope he is.
Support small business.
Come on, support Hector's House of Wax. Buy an Allison mask today.
I wish we could.
I wish.
Disgusting.
Who's to say we can't? Hey guys, you heard it here first. Our first drop of merch is going to be certified Hector's House of Wax Allison masks. Get yours shipping $4,000 per mask. That's all it costs. Not that much. And then the police show up. It's like as they're all kind of running around with the
And yeah, just like it is truly like I can't remember what song is playing, but it is a flash mob scene and it's very
It's giving it's not that, but it is giving it.
And they're all just have we seen this or was it in Ravenswood or is it just in every PLL episode that this happens where they do just stand in a circle and like people come up to the camera and it's just
so
a big
dumb.
dance.
It's so dumb.
And they're
then,
all like,
and then the police just appear. And then rather than
I was thinking of the traders when they have to pick the clowns.
Oh,
when they have to follow
yes,
the clowns, which is that's why the traders is PLL coded.
Oh, absolutely. For so many reasons.
Continue.
And then the police show up and they're just like, break it up. But they don't get out of the car. And I'm like,
That is crazy
What
to
do you-
see
okay.
like 20 black hoodies running around and be like,
and 5 young
break it up.
girls.
Yeah, and be like, come on.
Come on,
and they're
break it up
wearing
and just
fucking
keep trying.
chipmunk masks
Right.
or whatever you said.
In a playground. What if they were, and they are underage? What if those are pedophiles once again in a playground at night?
Welcome
Save
to
them.
New York.
It's been waiting for you. Welcome to New York.
Concrete bunghole where dreams are made up.
There's nothing you can do. Except for be chased by a bunch of black hoods.
And do a cute little dance in the playground. I want to learn that. I don't think it's a dance. I think they are just like going up to the camera like, ooh,
It might be
ooh.
choreographed, but yeah, like dance is to put it loosely, I would say.
It's Zumba. I think it's like Zumba level. I think it's like Zumba level choreo.
It's
like,
Park Zumba.
maybe they were just trying to be fit.
You're right.
What if the girls are the villains?
I mean, I've been saying it all
They
along. They are. Write that down.
Write that down. Okay, so also throughout this whole episode, there is the lowest quality B-roll interstitial shots of New York I've ever seen.
Crazy.
It feels like I'm watching the oldest Law and Order SVU episode.
They do like a random flash of what's I guess supposed to be Times Square.
That doesn't look like Times Square at all.
And it feels like all the like posters they have up are not real. Like obviously they can't
Yes.
put up real things because they have to copyright stuff. But they look so fake that they look. It's ridiculous.
I feel like WB could have done better. But
Budget.
hey, but this is how they get. This is how we got so many more seasons of this show as opposed to now, where I feel like we get many less episodes and seasons. Maybe
That's true. Maybe that's why
they spent the money on what mattered, which was probably writers and actors and stuff. Well, it all matters, but more just
it all matters.
It all matters.
It all matters. Everything matters.
Everything matters. Stay away from me. Okay.
Then we find out that the bullet is out of Ezra and there's damage, and I say good. He needs to be damaged after the damage is on. Now we cut to Mona. I think that we're back in Rosewood.
I've just got it. Yeah, my note is just Mona and Lucas are together. Mona says they're in New York.
And says more people are coming. She's like, they're not in Philly, they're in New York.
Yeah.
Also, is this the first time we see Lucas or we did?
Yes.
Crazy. Then
I don't see Lucas in Yonks.
Welcome back, doll. Then we're back at the Slastings house, Diet House Muffin, and Melissa wants to tell her secret that she told Peter, and he's drunk and mad.
He seems drunk and mad.
And I think he's hot.
I'm so glad you said it first because I feel like I have a hard on for everyone in this show and all I ever talk about is how people are hot.
Well, that's your prerogative.
But he was, yeah. I was like, Nolan North.
Nolan North's making me...
Nolan North being like angry.
Something in me's going north, if you know what I mean.
I'm just... Something's happening down south, if you know what I mean.
Something down south is becoming north.
North.
If I had a penis. Then Aria...
But I'm glad you thought that was hot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, and he says, your mother can never know what you told me. And I'm like, oh.
Go on.
Share with the class.
Go on and tell her.
Go on and tell her. Ha. What your mama get? What your mama or something? Huh?
Go on and tell her. Ha. Yeah, your mama tell her. Yeah. Tell your mama what you told me. Yeah.
Peter Hastings will make
you cream.
Us cream. Not her.
Go on and flown it.
The coffee's really kicking. This is my second coffee of the day, and it is. I cannot get a word out.
Well, guess what? I got you.
Oh, Mulbrook. Okay, wait. So the NYPD did. My next note is this yours about like NYPD calling Mulbrook.
No. No.
Okay, you go first.
My next note is Aria staying at the hospital flop.
Yes.
Yes. So, because when at some point, which we haven't mentioned, Spencer calls the NYPD and is like, "Is this correct?" That she says that someone somehow alerts them to the fact that it's Ezra Fitz at some point in this episode that he's the guy in the hospital, right?
Yes, because then Mulbrook's Googling
Ezra Fitz
the whole episode.
Yeah, I'm not sure of what the logistics are, but somehow the NYPD is alerted that he's the person that's in the hospital, and then they call. Somehow Holbrook then gets a hold of Googling.
And I just realized that note kind of doesn't matter because I think you bringing up Aria I think actually relates to my note under that, which is Ezra's mum is in Sydney, Australia.
What are you doing, doll?
She says to someone like...
She's on her way.
She's on the way. She's in Sydney. Then I looked up Sydney, America, because I'm like, do you guys have one of them?
Sydney Sweeney, of course.
Sydney Sweeney. You had Booby.
Miss Booby.
Beautiful woman.
Beautiful girl.
Beautiful brain.
And beautiful heart.
But I think there is one in Canada and there's one here. Is she in Australia? Because that's a long flight. I think so. Well, that's a long flight.
But that's why I think they're like, she can't get here right away because she's not in the same country. Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to Sydney.
Then Alison takes the girls to a theatre and we walk through.
Yeah, she's like, I know somewhere safe.
And then we see a flashback of Ezra taking her to this theatre and it's his family's theatre. We see him being like, yeah, well, it's just a place I know the people that own it.
Yeah, he says it's like a friend's one.
And then Ali talks about like being loved via the art, like being on stage, being like, wouldn't it be so nice to be up here, everyone loving you? I'm like, you're a
Yeah, and he's like, that's not love, that's adoration.
And I said, yeah.
And then he says, you really are my holy golightly. And I threw my couch away. I threw it at the door. But then Ali says, and then I realized Ezra is a rich boy pretending to be a poor boy. And I wrote, that's a classic artist move.
Classic. Absolutely.
He is. And I hate that.
I hate that boy. I hate that man. And then in the flashback, we also see like a custodian come in and he's like, oh, Mr. Fitz, no worries. So you find out that it's his family's theatre. And then we cut back to the Spencer.
This is where have we written the same note here, which is in all caps, Spencer hasn't eaten since the bridal party.
Yes, I've written Spencer's hungry and I say same.
This is...
And then we go into the foyer.
And have they pissed? I have so many questions about like, imagine if you had your period as well. Like when do you change?
When do these girls have time to have a period?
They don't. They really don't. And I do think about this a lot with shows of like, when do you pee? When do you poo? What if you have your period? What if you're day 2 of your period or whatever your heaviest day is?
When do you
For
pee?
Me, it's day 2.
When do you poo? Do you have your period? Is it day 2?
When do you pee? When do you poo? Do you have your period? Is it day 2? You better hope not.
And then, you better hope not. Bow, bow, bow.
You better hope not.
You better hope not. Then
and then Spencer and Hannah, because then they're like, let's go raid the concession stand. Then Spencer and Hannah talk about loving a show called Freaky Foodies, I believe it's called.
Oh, I loved this. This is the one moment in the most recent episodes at all that it's felt like they're normal kids.
It was so nice. And I just like genuinely love this Andrew Cunanan that they're watching, because I think Spencer makes a joke about eating the seat cushions. And then they're like, did you watch that episode? And then Allie's like, what are you guys talking about? I've been like in a bunker for 5 years or something. I don't know.
She's like, I don't know pop culture. And they're like, you never heard of Freaky Foodies?
And they all just start talking about it as if they've all been watching like Hoarders or like Embarrassing Bodies or
My
something.
Strange Addiction.
My Strange Addiction. And it's just like so nice. And then, because one of them, I think Hannah says to Spencer or something like, remember when we just like marathoned it?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just really want more of this canon.
I know, me too. Then I've got a couple of quotes from this scene. There's one where Spencer says, I guess a Nutty Chews can count as a protein and gummy bears count as a fruit. Which I love.
What is in this concession stand? I thought it would just be chips, popcorn, and Maltesers.
It's Nutty Chews and gummy bears, I guess. And then they talk, while they're talking about that show, Alison kind of feels left out. And I wrote, bitch, get over it. You did this to yourself.
Literally, you did this to yourself.
Smash cut to the hospital. A wild Shana appears and she approaches Ari and she's like, Alison told me to come. Earlier, also in this moment, right before this, when Alison leaves and is like, I'm sad, I don't know what this show is. She's like, I'm going to go call someone.
Yes, and Hannah follows her but kind of then loses her because I think they're all a bit like sus.
Yes. So she's like, I got to call, check in with other people that have helped me through this time. I'm just going to call someone. And then Shana appears at the hospital. So you're like, okay, she must have been
home.
Calling Shana to be there with Ari or something and protect her. And then they talk about life without the girls. And then Spencer says, when was the last time you guys had a hobby? And I wrote, not only is this true and funny, but also notice she doesn't say we, because she's had hobbies the whole time.
She's had hobbies the whole time.
She didn't give up.
She has
the hobbies.
extracurriculars.
She is extracurriculars.
So they're all like sitting on the stage, like literally a stage that's set up with couches, like a set. And Allie is asleep and the girls are talking about her while she sleeps. And Hannah's like, I reckon like we shouldn't do this. And they're like, she's asleep, Hannah. And then Hannah's like, she's Allie. And then Hannah goes and checks. Allie doesn't wake up, so they keep going. I'm like, don't talk, go somewhere else and speak about it. What are you doing?
What are you doing, girls? And then Aria's asleep in the waiting room and Shana puts her jacket on her. Like Aria's own
little leather
on the
jacket.
Floor.
Third leather. Are they? Because Spencer and Emily are in leather jackets.
I think they're all in leather jackets.
They are all in leather jackets. And
Shana
that was
puts
all
it
the craze.
on her and then we see her like leave the frame. And then the girls are all asleep on the stage back in the theatre, and someone enters and puts a hand over Alison's mouth and it's like,
and I've written some fierce boots enter in brackets Tory Burch.
Oh, Tory Burch boots are back. And then we see that it's Cece and she needs Alison's help. And we go, ooh, cut back to Mulbrook and he is Googling.
He's Googling.
And he finds out, he's like, Fitz is a Fitzgerald.
A fancy Fitzgerald.
Then we cut back to Ali and Cece and they're at a diner now with Noel.
Things in this episode, if you blink, if you look at your phone for 1 second, if you pat pudding for 1 second,
you're going to miss.
You miss, and then you're like, where are we? What's happening? Why is Noel
crazy.
Here? Plane tickets, diner.
He's got plane tickets. He's got a Vivian Dark Bloom passport that he was going to bring to
and
Ali.
And you know he's got a wig. We just don't see that bit, but he's got a wig.
Man's got a whole coat full of wigs.
He's like me walking around Comedy Festival 4 years ago with my wig and my blazer in my bag. Costume down. Oh yeah, and I've written, is Noel a travel agent? Why is he just giving plane tickets to everyone all the time?
Travel agent, portable costumer. That's what he is.
He's a PA.
He's a PA.
Gorgeous man.
Anus, PA.
He's a penis anus.
Of the words that could have come out.
He's a penis anus.
He's got both of them, I can only assume.
Yeah.
Then, Cece takes out a wad of cash and then they act like they're never going to see each other again. So basically, this passport was meant for Alison and the ticket for her to flee. But instead, Cece's going to get it because, of course, she killed Wilden, she killed him, and now... She killed him, and now Alison's like, you need to flee.
And we say ciao.
And we say ciao, mama. Then Ezra is in recovery. He wakes up and I say, no.
And Aria comes in and Shana's behind him.
Yes.
But then when Shana comes in, it's like, beep, 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 and he his body goes nuts.
His heart rate goes up. He freaks out.
And he has like a not like a cardiac arrest, but he has like an arrest.
I mean, maybe he was shot. He did have fragments of the bullet travel to his heart.
Debris.
So
Because of the trash.
Then back in the theater, Emerson. Oh, God. Emily asks Allison, because Allison returns to the theater. She's like, where have you been?
Oh, and she says, there are some things you don't need to know about And I was like, oh, shut up. And then Em went, that's not a good enough answer.
And I say slay. She also quotes High School Musical. She says, we're all in this together.
We're
all in this together.
And then...
Oh,
are we on the same note? I assume
we cut to Mona's location that we don't really know what it is.
She's assembled a room full of Ali haters. It's got Paige, it's got Lucas, and then can I please tell you the names of the other people? Because she's like, Lucas, what did Ali call you? He's like, Hermie. And then Paige, I'll say it for you, pigskin. And then having the captions on is amazing because they just pan around the room and then
we don't see the face. We just hear someone say.
It says, man one, I was puss face. And then someone went, I was Newt.
And then someone just goes, Les.
I was Les. And then I was whore. Ali got way less creative. Also, Ali is Les.
Ali is Les.
Or
and,
bi.
And I will say, Ali is whore.
Ali, yeah. Compliment. She's not puss face.
No,
nor
but
is
she's
she Newt.
So many people.
She's got very good skin.
Go on, girl.
But she is the internalized homophobia.
Crazy.
To call someone Les.
Of the people we recognize in this bit, there's those weird twins and an assortment of extras. I don't know who were saying all these other things.
Well, that's Pussface and Newt and Les and Whore.
And Les and Whore, of course. And then Paige goes to leave, and as she's exiting, Melissa
she's like, I don't want to be a part of
enters.
this.
Yeah, and Melissa enters and just goes, ooh. Then we find out that Ezra was paying Cece to get information for his book. And that's where the wad of cash came from, we can only assume. And then apparently Ali gave her the red coat. Allison's telling us all of this. Allison gave Cece the red coat the night of the Ravenswood situation with the lumber mill where where Emily almost gets sawed in half. So that's why there were two red coats. So one of them was Cece.
Yep.
Which we already knew.
And she stopped the thingy.
The thingy. Then cut back to Mulbrook. He finds out that the Fitzgerald Theatre has a phone number that you can call. And just before this, we saw that Aria's phone wasn't getting through to their phone.
So they were like, call the theatre, right?
Call the line of the theatre.
Call the landline.
They're waiting for it. It rings. Allison picks it up. She's like, hello. And then
he's like, Allison?
She's like, boop.
And then she hangs up.
They're like, do you know whose voice it was? She says, no. Oop. Then,
which is sus, by the way, to be like Allison and then be like, you should be like, who? This is a Fitzgerald Theatre, brother.
Yeah, I'd be like,
what are you doing?
My name's Denise.
My name is Denise.
And I work nights.
You Les.
Puss face.
And then Mulbrook is like, get NYPD over there.
Get them. Ezra wakes up and whispers something to Aria. We can only
and right before this, Aria calls the theatre, but they don't pick up because now they're scared. Or did you already say that? I can't remember.
I didn't.
Okay,
and
good.
And that's why we're a team, mama.
Okay.
Oh, then he wakes up. He whispers to Aria, who is. Then we go back to the theatre, and the girl's like, "Okay, let's leave this joint." Power goes off.
And also, have we said that Ali does tell the girl that the Gurgles that she doesn't have the passport and tickets anymore because she gave them to someone,
and they're
all
like, "Are you
really
fucking
pissed."
kidding
they're really
me?
annoyed.
Yes.
And then the lights go off. A noise. There's like a clang and a bang, and Emily goes, "Who's out there?
Who's out there?"
It wasn't that bad, but it's cute. I just like it when it slips out.
I do
and
too.
then
it's Shana
in a hoodie,
in a black hood with a gun, and she says, "I thought I got you guys in the fire at the lodge." And it's like, what? So she is responsible for the fire.
She did the lodge fire.
She did the lodge fire,
and she's got a gun. And then I've written #justice for Jenna. I guess lol. Because I guess like Ali says like if you're trying to get justice for Jenna,
yes.
Like,
she says,
tree?
Ali's like, why would you turn on me like this? Because remember that Allison sent Shana to Rosewood to like spy on everyone and figure out who A was.
Shana's a fucking NPC. Like you know what? Like get a hobby, get a personality that's not loving hot women.
NPC, which in this case stands for no personality, cunt.
Exactly.
Jesus. Then she says that this is justice for Jenna, and she says, "Get back or I'll blow your head off." And I kind of say slay.
Honestly, Shana's like
it's the best.
Pretty slay.
She's pretty slay.
This is very Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, and then
full throt.
Full throt. Speaking of throt/thought, Aria appears at some point.
She's got a big ass rifle. Yeah, she like appears behind Shana.
Earlier in the episode, we see when they first get on stage, Hannah finds the rifle and she's like, "Wow, this is a real gun." It's obviously like a prop gun. I like Bulbum style.
I know. I was like, ooh.
And then Aria just says,
Rust.
"Hey, Shana," and
bonk, sir.
She go bonk.
Ding dong bonk.
Bonk sounds like
bonk. Donk. And then Shana falls a meter. I would say she falls like
she falls
2 meters.
a meter from the stage into like the
Orchestra
front
pit.
of the audience.
Oh, yeah.
Orchestra, not even the orchestra pit. Yeah,
But she does like I think hit her head on a music stand because she dies immediately.
It's as if she whacks her temple on the corner of the music stand and then donk on the floor, and there's like a pool of blood that starts to come out, and then you're like, really? Is that
here? I said
fatal?
so. I said like people die so easily on this show, and then Dale's like, yeah. Or they don't at all. Yeah, and I was like, that's also true.
Hit by a car and they're barely injured.
Yeah, I'm like, people either just like snap dead or they really have 9 lives. Like,
it's crazy. And then while that's happening as well, before she falls, when she whacks Shana's gun shoots the light bulb and it shatters everywhere. And I'm like, how come then later none of them have cuts all over them?
And that's that thing of like, the girls are always okay.
The girls, thank God for that.
And then Cece is on a plane.
Oh, before that though, Aria says, it really is over. And I wrote, no, there's 3 more full seasons of this, babe.
Also, you just killed someone.
Which, you know, hopefully she will process, I hope, like Emily did when she went to Haiti.
You girls, go to Haiti.
Go to Haiti. Process
go to Haiti,
it.
you hater.
Build a house. Then Spencer calls the police and is like, there's been an accident. And then, yes, we're at the airport. We see Cece boarding a plane using Alison's.
In glasses. I do think she's in sunnies and a wig and she hands over the
and a big floppy hat.
And a big floppy hat.
And what we can only assume is jungle red.
Absolutely.
Ali's colour.
She would have to take off those sunnies.
But she doesn't. She's just like.
She doesn't. And they're like, cool, thanks, Miss Darkbloom. I'm like, literally, what the fuck?
And she goes, merci. And then she takes off the glasses.
And then she fully speaks French. I'm like, you don't have to, like, they don't care if you're French going to France. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But she's like,
and then we cut back to Fitzgerald Theatre and the police have found Shana. And that is season 5 episode 1. From New York.
Okay, quick triv.
QT.
The table read was on March 20, 2014.
Wow.
Filming began March 24 and ended on April 1, this is around the time we're recording. Yep. Wow. The episode is a continuation of, no shit. Okay, nothing. No, that's it.
And that's
actually, but one of my favorite trivia things, this is the first episode of season 5. Trivia is, Lucas returns in this episode, making this his first appearance in season 5. Well, it's all of their first appearances in season 5. Okay, who was the hottest adult of this episode?
Because, of course, we have to do our seggies.
We do segments, seggies, seg rolls.
Hottest adult was Mulbrook on the phone.
Mulbrook on the phone, because Sean Farris always makes me feel something. But I also, we do have to give it to Peter Hastings for being kind of scary.
And drunk.
And sexy. What does that say? Yikes of the episode. What was the yikes of the... What?
I mean...
Spencer not having eaten since, to be honest, if like anything gave us a reaction that is kind of like, oh, it was Spencer, them having not eaten in undisclosed amount of time.
And also, I'm going to say Ezra not dying.
Well,
let him die.
Yikes as. Who gets a buttercream from us, Daddy Hastings?
I want all the girls to have a buttercream that haven't eaten in that long.
Absolutely. They get a breakfast.
They get a breakfast cream. I want Mulbrook to get a buttercream for doing good investigative journalism.
He's doing such good work.
I want those police officers that are standing outside the emergency room. Get a buttercream.
Absolutely.
Long shift. The surgeon that's saying, don't die on me, Mr. Fitz.
Shana can have a buttercream for being like a little bit impressive.
Yeah.
I am a little bit impressed, but I'm also glad she's gone.
For saying, get back before I blow your head off.
Yeah, I think she can have one.
Yep.
Cece will probably get one on the plane. I just feel like she'll get a treat. I'm not saying she like deserves one.
Yeah.
I also want to give a buttercream.
Buttercream.
A buttercream. And also I want to give a buttercream to Pussface, Newt, Les, and Whore.
I want a special shout out to Les because it's also just a human name, which I think is funny.
Yeah. I was Les. Maybe she was like, you're a Leslie.
Well, isn't there a Leslie? No spoilers, really. There is a Leslie later in the show, or has that Leslie already appeared?
I can't remember. I think maybe, oh God, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't fucking tell you. Who needs to wait for Crazy Bread from Noel Khan?
Noel Khan.
Back in a big way.
He can wait for his own Crazy Bread because he's back. I'm happy for him.
He can wait.
I kind of think Mona assembling these weird Avengers.
Oh, absolutely.
Crazy Bread.
I think like Peter Hastings can also wait for Crazy. Well, he should have some bread actually.
Shana can wait for Crazy Bread, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that should...
Also, another yikes.
Yeah, that should...
Also, another yikes.
Yeah, that is top of the list.
Another yikes, all the A's running around the
Oh my God.
and the police not doing anything.
They all
really.
need to wait for Crazy Brett. Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Okay. Completely forgot about that. What gave us a hardcover?
I mean,
It was randomly Peter Hastings being a
was-
little bit like spooky.
spooky sexy.
The fuck? What gave us a soft cover?
I mean,
To me, it was the park.
was
And
the
the park was the yikes. Not in like a scary way, just in like it's very embarrassing.
also the voices that they chose to make
The voices were crazy.
Norman Buckley,
Want to play a game?
king of direction, not in this moment. Why did you make them do that?
Who were these? Where did they get these actors? Like in show, where did A-Team get these actors?
Weird.
Who gets a wine from Byron?
Daddy Hastings can have a wine because he's already drunk. Get more.
All the
drunk,
Hastings
King.
can have a wine. Mulbrook definitely, once he's like clocks off for the day,
Yep.
will need a wine because he's been having coffee, so he needs a downer. That's it. And
Ezra wants his heart's happy again. Have a wine. You've been through it, even though we hate you.
you can have a wine. You fucking fuck. And then line of the episode. I mean, for me, it was the names. It was hearing the names.
Yes.
Oh, but I also really liked there are some things you don't need to know about M, and then that's not a good enough answer.
I like that, and I also liked. When was the last time you guys had hobbies?
And all the freaky foodie
Oh, the freaky food
content.
Wow,
That was fun.
what an app. Haley, I love you.
Ash, I love you so much, listeners.
We love you. And if you're out there in New York,
You could be in New York. You could be in Philly.
you could be in Rosewood.
You could be in Rosewood. You could be in Melbourne, Australia. You could be in
Like us.
Sydney, like Ezra's mum.
Wherever you are, make sure you
Close
your damn blinds. Because you never know if someone's going to be out there going, MIA, or you.
And then doing a full flash mob, which would be so upsetting.
It would be terrifying.
To have a flash mob in your front yard,
Get out of my property.
yuck.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my veranda.
Get off my patio. I forgot that we do the new one every time.
Toberky.
Berkey.
Toberky.
Listeners, if you didn't know, we actually have a Patreon, which we call the Dollhouse. So come hang out in our Dollhouse.
We also have a YouTube channel, so if you want to watch this episode and other episodes, head to our YouTube channel and subscribe.
And you can find all updates at our Instagram or look in the episode show notes.
We love ya.
We love you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Call an Adult. We appreciate you more than Alison appreciates immortality, my darlings. Please give the show some love by giving us a 5-star rating and review on your podcast platform of choice.
You can stay up to date on episodes by following our Instagram at call.an.adult, as well as our respective Instagrams at Ashley Crapapp and at Hayley Tanto. Have a lovely day, and don't forget, shut your damn blinds! See ya! Call an Adult is recorded on the stolen lands of the Boonwurrung and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of the land. Sovereignty was never ceded.